Well, welcome back, guys, to another pod. And first, very thankful for the last reception on the pod. It did a lot better than I ever expected. It did better than my own singular videos. So that's what I'm talking about. uh,
Go.
the comments are great. In the next Marvel when we do, I'm sure the next Daredevil when we do, um, we'll read some of the comments that you guys said for Daredevil, just to keep it all united, all one together.
Yeah.
But this one
Yeah.
is about how Assassin's Creed Shadows paints a bigger picture in the game media world and the game media just in general. Me and Kane here are lifelong devouters to video games. As you say, we're a religion of video games.
Yes, sir.
And we both went to school for it. I'm currently still in it. He's in it, or he graduated from it. And our life is centered around video games in some way, shape, or form. We grew up a certain way. Throughout all our years, we played it a certain way. Every single game, every single form of game, every single genre of game, every single arcade or to Game Boy to PSP to something. Every form of it we have consumed in some way. And a major developer of that, a studio of that people usually don't give enough credit to at times because they've kind of fallen by the wayside a couple times. Is Ubisoft. As Kane knows, and as some of you may know me, I am a devout follower of Assassin's Creed. Actually, Ubisoft. I play everything fucking Ubisoft.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to realize that Ubisoft is one of the biggest developers in the world. They're actually one of the biggest studios in the fucking world. They have like over 45 locations. I think they have almost 20,000 people that work for them. They're one of the biggest studios in the whole world, and they've made some of the biggest game trends and video games in the industry. So them making Assassin's Creed Shadows was, of course, a big hype train, because as we all know, as we all have played Assassin's Creed, anyone who's played the first one or tuned in to like the fourth one, we all wanted Japan.
Yeah. Yep. Forever. It's been forever.
After Assassin's Creed 1, people wanted Japan. And Assassin's Creed 1 was almost 20 years ago. So we wanted Japan. And then we got Ezio. And then it was sensational.
Yep, that's true.
Now, this isn't going to be a review for Assassin's Creed Shadows, because, of course, Kane hasn't played it, and Kane hasn't played most recent Assassin's Creeds in a minute. What was the last one you played?
Yeah, the most recent one, that'd be Odyssey.
Odyssey, okay.
Yeah, which was what, 2017?
Yeah, I think probably 2017, 2018.
I think it was 2017. Yeah.
And that's the least Assassins of all Assassins is Odyssey.
Yeah, no, it was very not Assassin's Creed.
They only had one expansion.
That was the last one I played.
They only had one expansion that was about Assassin's Creed, so that was cool, I guess. But yeah, the main topic of the video is just the media that surrounds Shadows, and not just Shadows, but games in general. There's a tone that I've mentioned in one of my singular videos that we are so completely negative about everything in life in general, but specifically for this topic, it's about games.
Yeah.
So for someone who's not playing Assassin's Creed, for someone who's not tuned into the universe, what have you seen on your side of it, just from reception of Shadows?
Yeah, it's been super negative. But it's been it's been kind of weird. It's been negative about a lot of things that like aren't really anything to do with the game. A lot of people are really upset with the portrayal of the Black Samurai in the game. I forgot his name.
Yasuke.
Yasuke, yes. That's been a massively hot contention point on media. I don't know anything about Yasuke. I don't know about the history of it. But there's been stuff with that. There's been it's just been negative for the sake of being negative almost, and people are like calling for Ubisoft to be canceled and hoping they're wishing and hoping that they fail. Basically, that's all I've been saying. It's just like people shitting on the game, but mostly just shitting on Ubisoft and just not wanting them to succeed.
I think there's multiple reasons why Ubisoft's getting shit on right now. Some of it's obviously deserving. For Shadows in particular, as someone who's synced 50 hours now, I haven't beat the game, but I've synced 50 hours now. It's the best it's the best formula when they started Origins and they had the whole RPG open world.
Yeah.
It's the best one they've made in that formula.
Right. Okay.
I think where it falls short, like I said, it's not going to be a review for Assassin's Creed, but I think where it falls short is the story. And I think that's where people kind of confuse themselves with the reception of Assassin's Creed. Because if you go back, right, if you go back to Assassin's Creed 1, 2, Brotherhood, Revelations, 3, Black Flag, all that shit, the gameplay is really not that good at times.
Yeah.
It's a little clunky.
Yeah.
And it's very one-dimensional. Follow this guy, eagle vision, tag him, assassinate him, solve a puzzle, parkour puzzle.
Yep.
And just do that over and over.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah.
Brotherhood put in the mechanic where, you can 100% perfect the missions and the world and stuff like that. And I think that was kind of the start of the Assassin's Creed formula, or the Ubisoft formula, is where they started putting collectibles and little upgrade things on the map. And that kind of started it. But the thing that always carried Assassin's Creed was the story.
Yeah.
I think
100%.
Players in general, no matter what game they're playing, they really don't give a fuck if the gameplay is that perfect. They just want a good story if it's a story game.
Yeah, if it's a story game, 100%.
Because Last of Us 2 is by far one of the prettiest and smoothest gameplays I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
But it also has the most dog shit story I've ever seen in my life.
That's another very divisive game to Last of Us Part 2. Yeah.
It's kind of like, okay, shit, But after Assassin's Creed 3, they axed the Assassin's Creed story, with Desmond and stuff like that. So a lot of people felt like Assassin's Creed 3 was the end, was the last game in that thing, and that's kind of where you see they tailed off. Even Black Flag got a lot of hate because it was that open world, kind of less Assassin's Creed-y, but you go back to it, it's everybody's one of the best. It's one of everybody's favorite game.
It's looked at so fondly now. when it came out, it was not well received.
No, it wasn't.
People forget about that.
And that's the part that kind of frustrates me about the media surrounding Ubisoft, is that did they fuck up with Unity at launch? Of course they did.
Yeah.
If you play Unity now, you're like, dude, what the fuck is this game? This game is goated.
Yeah. It's honestly, it might be like, it's probably top 3 for me. Assassin's Creed games.
It's so
really
fun.
good. It's really good.
It's so good. The only thing it falls short on is kind of like the story. It's kind of
Yeah,
it's a missed
the
story.
gameplay is so good though.
It's
It's so
the
fun.
world, the everything. Another thing it fell short on was just the amount of collectibles on the fucking screen.
Yeah,
But I
but
think
the launch was terrible. Yeah,
I know you can speak on this too. If a studio as big as Ubisoft, right? 45 locations all around the world, 20,000 people. The Ubisoft game is going to have the same identity or DNA. So Far Cry, Ghost Recon, Assassin's Creed, they're all going to share that climb the tower, look at points of
yeah,
interest. Just because if you're going to have that many people work on a project, they need to have some type of DNA that flows all together. They need to take
yeah,
from a game. So I know if you want to talk about that.
yeah. That all it has to do with, yeah, because of how big they are. But because of how big they are, they have to be risk adverse,
Yeah.
right? And they have a formula that they know works, right? Since Far Cry 3, like, which I think was the first game that like used that formula, was Far Cry
Yeah,
3,
that
and now
was
they've kind of applied it to literally every single game they make now. And I don't think that's like the best idea, right? But because some would argue that because of how big they are, like like you said, what, 28,000 employees, or is it 20,000?
20,000.
20,000. Which, by the way, I was just looking at this. They are the largest game studio. Like
Damn.
there are companies that are like Microsoft and Sony that
Mm-hmm.
obviously are bigger than them, but they're not just video games. They're
Yeah.
tech. Period. As far as solely developing games, they are the biggest company in the world. The biggest. So I just wanted to clarify that too. They are the biggest game studio in the
Damn.
world. They're bigger than EA as far as like employees. Like they're massive. um, but one would argue that, hey, they have all these people. They have 20,000 people. Like they should be able to have dedicated teams to making completely different games.
Yeah.
And you're right, as far as like the manpower, they have the ability to do that. But again, 20,000 employees, they're massive. These games cost a fortune. Hundreds of millions of dollars go into making a AAA game. And then the more employees you have, the more people you have involved, which again, Ubisoft being the biggest, they have the most people involved. It gets even more expensive than that. So they can't afford flops. They
Yeah.
have to avoid that at all costs. And that sucks the creativity a bit out of games. Not completely, but it definitely does some of it, because they use these templates that over the years they've found are successful, and it's a business decision.
Yeah.
They have to do that because they can't afford to flop. They'd rather have something that they know will sell at least pretty well versus the potential of having an insanely good selling, but also a high chance of like this could just fail completely. So that's just not something that a company that large is willing to risk.
Yeah. On the selling point, this is the second biggest Assassin's Creed launch ever. The only thing it's
Yeah.
behind is Valhalla, but that came out during COVID. So everything kind of
Yeah, so
got
it's not really fair.
everything kind of got exploded during COVID. So
Yeah.
as far as we know, Shadows is the most successful Assassin's Creed launch.
Yeah.
And to be fair, it's weird, especially if you're hearing this, but the overall reviews for Shadows is good. Like it's
Okay.
4 out of 5 stars, 9 out of 10. It's good. I'm not talking about outlets. I'm just talking about if you just look on PlayStation, Xbox.
Oh,
I haven't looked at
I'm gonna look it
Steam.
up on the Steam. I'm gonna do
Yeah,
that right now.
look
Yeah.
it up on Steam. But at least PlayStation and Xbox, it's and I think fucking Google Plays or some shit like that. It's pretty damn good.
It's very positive on
Very
Steam.
positive. There you
That's
go.
insane.
So
I would not have guessed that with what I've heard from people.
exactly,
Yeah.
that's the main point of the fucking pod is just, well, what's going on here? Now, I understand. Actually, I don't understand, but I know one point of view that a lot of people have about Shadows is it's not Ghost, right?
Yep.
Well, when
Which
I'm
they
saying
set
Ghost,
themselves up for.
Ghost is Tsushima, right?
Yeah.
Now, people are not gonna like this. People are not gonna understand this. People are gonna say, "Oh, D, you're just moving the bar now." All right. Ask me this. Answer me this, King. Answer me this.
Yep.
What other game is like Ghost of Tsushima? Huh?
Like it as in like the
I'm
time
saying
period.
as good as Ghost of Tsushima, as its format, as its of its core identity of just a story game with the win mechanics. What game is like Ghost of Tsushima?
I mean, I would put it in the category with like Red Dead 2,
Exactly.
like some insanely like the most immersive open
Yeah.
world games out there. Yeah.
Yeah. What game is like Red Dead 2? What game
uh,
was like God of War 1?
God of War, The Witcher 3
Yeah. What game
is
was like
pretty immersive.
what game was like Witcher 3? What game was like
There's not
Spider
a
Man? What game was like Spider Man 1?
Spider-Man 120. That is a good game.
So the
There's not
main
a lot of games.
so the main point is those games are outliers. They're just simple outliers. They are industry setters. They are the actual bread and butter of everything.
Yeah.
If you're buying a game and going, this has got to be Ghost of Tsushima, nigga, you're fucking stupid. All right, you're just stupid. All right. Same thing for like the Cyberpunk, right? Cyberpunk now.
Yep. Cyberpunk now.
What
Baldur's
game
Gate
is like
3.
Cyberpunk now, bro?
Yeah.
Visually, with the gameplay, the builds you could do, it's insane.
Yep.
So why are you buying Mario Worlds and going, bro? This ain't Forza, nigga. You bought Mario. I just don't get that. It's being compared to Ghost so many times, and I get
Yeah.
it. It's kind of the same core because
Yeah.
Ghost took from Assassins, and Assassins, especially if you play Shadows, they took from Ghost.
Yeah.
So they have a shared identity.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you go back in Assassin's Creed history, they've never had a game that comes even close to Ghost.
Yeah.
It's just their story
Yep.
is so fucking good.
Yeah.
And at the same time, Ghost doesn't compare to anything else that you've played. So what's the point? What's the point? What's the point? What are you trying to get at?
Yeah.
Like I say, I'm not trying to
People.
move the
Yeah.
bar to, you're saying your standards low or something like that. But shit,
Having realistic standards.
I mean, bro,
Yeah.
if the game's getting 9 out of 10, 4 out of 5, and you've played the past Assassin's Creeds, Ubisoft formula, the formula.
Yep.
Some people have a lot of fatigue from it.
Yeah.
Brother, why did
Don't buy it.
Why did you expect Ghost? And
Yeah.
it's even for gamer ranks. They expected Ghost.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
for someone
it's-
that massive to, in my opinion, not recommend a game that's the best since Origins that they recommended, it's just confusing to me.
Yeah, I mean, everybody wants like everything to be the greatest thing ever. That's just like where we're at as like a society. It's like
Yeah.
if it's not the just as good as the last thing, which was the greatest thing ever, if it doesn't meet up to that, then it's trash and it's just not worth getting. And it's just like that's like the mindset of like so many people. It's like this is, and from what I've seen, again, I haven't played it. Just from seeing gameplay and screenshots and things like that, some videos, it looks like an Assassin's Creed game. It looks like a great Assassin's Creed game. Like it's Assassin's Creed. It's like, why would you ever go into, again, going back to Ubisoft, their formula, like you said, you know what you're buying. You know what you're getting. It's not like this is some buggy, flawed mess. Like it's not. Like from a lot of the reviews, it's been, as far as the technical aspects, it's been great. You know, there's always outliers and there's people that'll experience crashes and things like that. But that could be a hardware thing. But I mean, it's Assassin's Creed. It's the most Assassin's Creed game that's come out since Origins, or you know, like it's the best one since they've started doing that. Why were you expecting something else? You know, it's it's stupid. Like if you know, and if you're one of those people that are like just tired of the formula, like myself, like I didn't buy it. I knew what it was going to be, and I said, you know what? I don't have time for that. I don't have 70 hours to sink into another Assassin's Creed game.
There you go.
So I'm going to pass on it. But it's not. I'm not like leaving reviews about how trash it is or whatever. Like, if you like Assassin's Creed, fucking get it. You know, it's highly recommended to those people that enjoy the past 4 Assassin's Creed games, or 3, however many it's been. Like, you would like it 100%. Yeah, it's crazy.
Also, not to get too Assassin's Creed-y, but they take historical things and they have fun with it.
Yep, and they change it a little bit.
They have fun with it. Ezio did not punch the Pope in the Vatican. Okay?
Yeah.
That did not happen. The Pope also didn't have the piece of Eden. Okay?
That you know of.
That I know of, right? Now there's puzzles. I don't know if you're an old head now, if you're an unk. But there used to be puzzles in Assassin's Creed. And you would analyze the puzzles, and they'll have historical files, like BMW having relations with the Nazis, and then Hitler having a piece of Eden. And the assassination of JFK was a Templar move. Now, maybe you believe that. Maybe you do. Technically,
who's to say?
Technically, Assassin's Creed is your source. But maybe it's just not to be taken seriously.
Hey, I passed U.S. history because of Assassin's Creed 3.
Assassin's Creed 3 passed everybody. Everybody. But at the same time, there wasn't an assassin under George Washington fucking up the British that we know of.
Probably not. Yeah, that we know of. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
So the thing with Yasuke, and this kind of goes into what a lot of YouTubers, like if you just go on YouTube and search up Shadows, call it woke culture.
Yeah.
That word is being thrown a lot now in video games. Some hit, some don't 100%. Hit. Is this a woke game? Games ain't even come out yet. Like the Naughty Dog reveal of the space game.
The Naughty Dog Intergalactic or whatever it's going to be called. Yeah, dude. It's like the day the trailer dropped. And I thought the trailer was good. It was a little weird. It was a little weird with the ads, like the promos and like the Adidas thing. Like that was a little weird. But whatever. The trailer itself looked fucking cool.
Yeah.
And I'm pumped that Naughty Dog is doing something new finally. But yeah, the reception was horrible for that trailer.
They're calling it a woke game.
I was like, what?
They were calling it a woke game. And I'm like, brother, it didn't even, we saw like 2 voice lines. Like, it wasn't even there.
Oh, but it was two female characters,
It
so it
was
has to
too.
be
It
woke.
had to be woke. She's bald.
Yeah, she's she's a bald
She gotta
woman.
be. She gotta be gay, bro.
Has to be.
And it's the same thing for
Yeah.
Yasuke, which historically, right? We have no evidence of anything that man did in his life in the real world. All we
Right.
know is that I believe we know that we have three things in history. We have a gold coin in Africa
Yeah.
with a head printing, which means he was someone of prestigious stature.
Right.
There's a painting of him in Japan of him being a sumo wrestler. So it's like, okay,
Interesting.
there's a black
Okay.
sumo wrestler in this time period. And then there's a sword with like his name etched into it from that time period. So it's like,
Yeah.
okay, we don't know what this guy was. There's nothing
Yeah.
on him,
No idea.
but there's some proof
There's a
that
black man in Japan.
there's a black man in Japan,
that was of some kind of importance.
some
High
kind of
importance.
importance.
Yeah.
And it was if I remember correctly, the coin in Africa, I think, was like a Portuguese coin, like it was a Spanish gold coin or something like that.
Yeah.
I could be completely
Okay.
wrong, but that's where they got the thing where it was like, okay, maybe the Portuguese, like in the game, the Portuguese had him as a slave, came to Japan, and when the
Oh, okay.
Portuguese tried to, when Japan opened up their trade ports to the outside world, the Portuguese came, Yasuke was there. Japanese was like, yo,
Yeah.
I'll take Yasuke, fuck y'all priest, and that's pretty much how it went. But yeah, it's a game. It's a game.
Yeah.
And
It's a video game.
maybe Yasuke isn't real. That version of him.
Yeah.
So maybe y'all should suck a dick. Because the funny part is,
So
if you play the game, Yasuke is
Yeah.
the best character.
yeah.
He's 10 times better than the female character. A lot more emotion. I think better delivery on the voice lines. So it's kind of like, okay, you slap woke label on this game and you say, they just want a black guy in the game. But then if you play it, he's the best character in the game. So, I don't know. What are you about to say?
Yeah. So what is the issue exactly that people are having with Yasuke? Is it just because like, oh, he's like made up? Is that essentially like we don't know what he was and they're claiming he was a samurai? Like, is that what the biggest issue is, or like what is it exactly?
There was multiple things. One is they figured out how to get a black guy in Japan. I seen that a
okay.
lot. That's what the woke thing is.
Okay.
Because it was like, oh, you need a female and a black guy in samurai
Yeah.
samurai Japan.
Right. Yeah.
Another thing was, oh, you're messing with somebody who has historical evidence or something like that. You're messing
Right.
with the
Very
history.
little historical evidence.
Yeah, you're messing with the history of a figure, which
Yeah.
I don't know if people remember. Like I said, an old head like me.
Literally every single Assassin's Creed.
Well,
Yeah.
hold on now, okay. There was a DLC in Assassin's Creed 3 where George Washington had the Apple of Eden.
Oh fuck!
And remember, he had like
Oh.
a whole boss fight where he controlled the Apple of Eden.
Yes.
So unless that
Oh, I
nigga had the
forgot
Apple of
about
Eden,
that.
unless that motherfucker had the Apple of Eden, which he could have
Yo. Yeah. Allegedly.
allegedly. Yeah, I'm sure they played with a historical figure.
So that's crazy, man. Like literally, so people are giving it woke title, like complaining about it, about everything, for things that literally every past Assassin's Creed has done, if not on a higher magnitude. Like I feel like the older ones went even crazier with the
Yeah,
changing
it went
history
way crazier.
by far. And now this game is, and to be clear, it's the loud minority, right? Because
Yeah.
it's getting good review. Like on Steam, one of the most harsh places for game reviews.
Yeah.
Like there's like games are getting review bombed constantly on Steam, and it's 14,000 reviews, almost 15,000, very positive. That's That's crazy. Which 81% of the 14,000 reviews are positive.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So
'Cause
it's a very loud minority of people that have problems with it. Um, it's stupid.
it's
Like it's
stupid,
just the
man.
media, the games media is just absolutely out of whack. It's all about getting clicks now. Like nobody cares about like good journalism. Like it's not a
Yeah,
thing anymore. They just want people to click on it, and like negativity is what gets clicks. Because even if you're somebody that does like the game, if you see somebody shitting on it, you're like, hey, like what the fuck are they talking
yeah,
about? Like you'll click on it. You might not respond in the comments or whatever, but they're gonna get your click. They might get your comment. It's all about engagement on these platforms. So
like the one,
it's all sorts of screwed.
like I said, anybody who's watching this can just pull up on YouTube Assassin's Creed Shadows, and every single top video is either going to be a guide or a shit on. It's the only thing. And there's one YouTuber, right? I used to watch him until he just kept getting more negative and negative. But there's a guy named Luke Stevens, right? This is not a shot.
Yep.
He's not going to see this because I got 12 people. But if he happens to see this, motherfucker, you cover Assassin's Creed religiously, but then you also say you've tapped out of Assassin's Creed when they started Origins. So, brother, why do you expect anything? Why do you expect anything less? Why keep covering Assassin's Creed? I don't get it. If you don't like the game, and if you haven't liked the formula or the franchise in years, we're talking about 7 years now, maybe it just ain't for you.
Yeah.
And I think that's at the end of the day, the game's not for you. I mentioned this to you in the text message. Assassin's Creed is for someone who doesn't want to be crazy in the details. They don't want to be so hyper focused on the game. They don't want to be completely into the build crafting or searching clues or getting every collectible. They kind of just want to sit down and play the game. And it's a junk food game. There's something in there for everyone, but
Yeah.
it's a junk food game. It's a game you can just kind of indulge in for 30 minutes or so. It's not a Ghost. Ghost is a fine dinner. Ghost is a
fine dining.
It's a 5-star meal with a fucking tomahawk steak. It's sensational.
Yeah.
But Assassin's Creed was never that.
Yeah.
People have fond memories of like Brotherhood and 3 and Black Flag. But if you really go back and play it, except for Black Flag, if you go back and play Black Flag, that has aged like wine. The other ones, oh my god.
Yeah, it's nostalgia, 100%. You know, rose tinted glasses.
Oh my god, it's shite. But when you ask the story, like I said, people care about the story. If you're gonna play a narrative game and your Origins was a narrative game, and then you cut that part out, then this is what you get.
Yeah.
But
no, 100%.
The more focus on game media to pry away from Assassin's Creed, we'll do an example right now that we're experiencing live time as we speak with me and you playing the game, Path of Exile 2. If you guys don't know, Path of Exile 2 is a hardcore looter dungeon build crafting.
It's an ARPG. Yeah, it's an ARPG. Yeah.
If you don't know what that is, you fight a lot of enemies, you make your character,
Diablo.
You get loot. That's that. It's Diablo, but really juiced. It's, let's just say, to make it real simple, it's a From Software Diablo game. It's hardcore. The fan base is hardcore. They're intense into it. Path of Exile 1 was one of the most what is it? I'm looking for the word. Path of Exile 1 was one of the
Like
most.
niche
Yeah, it was a niche
or
game. It had like a
yeah.
cult following, and
Yes.
if you try to get
Yes.
into it and you didn't understand it, you kind of got
Good
shamed
luck. Yeah.
because it was like, bro, are you fucking
Yeah.
stupid, bro? You can't understand a 5-page skill tree?
Yeah. No, they'd send you a spreadsheet.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
and if you didn't figure
yeah. If you need an
if you couldn't
Excel
figure it out,
spreadsheet,
it's like, bro, get the fuck out of here.
if
This
you need
game's
it,
not for
it's
you.
not for
Yeah.
you, bro. But anyways, 2 is on early access.
Yep.
Keyword early access.
Just had its second update. Only its second. Oh wait, no, this was the first big update.
This is
'Cause
the
it
first
had it launched.
content. Yeah,
Yeah, it launched, and then this is now its first large content update. Yes.
yeah. I
Okay.
think the game's been out for like 4 months, like 3 or 4 months.
4 months.
Enough time for players to get their builds, go through their end game. It's a very hardcore game. A lot of people who play it love build crafting, knowing your
Yes.
character, and going through a challenge to then
Yeah.
melt that challenge. And the thing that separates it from Diablo, at least from the outside looking in, and who's trying to be in now, is
Yeah.
Diablo. If you just want to melt a map in 3 seconds, then you play Diablo. If you want to struggle a bit and then finally melt something, you play Path.
Yeah, it's the complexity for sure.
Yeah, it's the complexity.
Diablo makes it is especially Diablo 4. It's much more simplified, and it's not. I wouldn't just say it's not like brain dead easy to come up with a cracked build, but like
It's fast
even
food.
a mediocre build in Diablo 4 can still melt
Yeah.
fairly well in the game. That is not the case with Path of Exile.
It's
It's not how it works.
a fast food game. Diablo's the
Yeah.
same thing. It's you
Yeah.
indulge in it, and if you don't want to be highly invested in your character, you just make a character and you have fun.
Yeah.
Path of Exile is not that. You make a
No.
character and you suffer. You have a bad
Yep.
time, and then eventually you don't have a bad time, and then you have a bad time.
Again, yeah, there's a while of going bad time, solid time, bad time. So it's like, and then eventually it's like, okay, finally I figured it out. If you're lucky, you'll get to that point. If you invested enough time.
So
Yeah.
the main point of bringing up Path of Exile 2 is, like Kane said, they came out with their first ever big update, which in the interview for the devs, they said
Yeah.
everything you knew about Path of Exile 2 is gone.
Yep.
So the update comes out,
Massive shakeup.
and everybody's like, yo, I don't know this game anymore. They said it. They said it.
Yeah.
And the thing
I mean,
that,
the game basically relaunched.
Yeah, the
This is
game-
like a
yeah.
new game launch. Yeah. Yeah.
and like, I can't speak on the technical issues. I know people have been crashing, bugs, and stuff like that. That's completely understandable. If you're frustrated
Yeah.
from that, then you're fucking frustrated from that because you can't play your game.
That's valid. Yeah.
A lot of the feedback. This is another situation where you search up PoE2 and YouTube, and you just see the wave of hate that's going on right now. I think it's also getting review bombed at the moment. 'Cause-
Yeah, it's sitting on Steam. It was mostly positive at a 78, or this is post review bombing. So all of the reviews overall is sitting at a 78% positive, which is, so that means it must have been pretty damn high. It was probably in like the 80s to 90% positive before the review bomb. In the recent reviews, it's mixed at a 50-50, like a total 50-50, like a lot of like 50% positive, 50% negative.
I know
reviews.
when I went on Xbox, it was, if you overall game, it was 4.5, 4.5
Yeah.
stars, and then if you filter it to the newest, it's 3, and then it's 2.5. So it's like, all right, so people aren't fucking this game, and the large majority of the people are like, hey, I can't melt the map anymore.
Yeah.
The game's too hard. And it was just like, brother, whoa. Whoa. This is the whole foundation of Path of Exile.
Yeah.
Now I know there's other
Yeah.
videos out there where some people got to the end game. I know I watched one last night, and they're pointing out very good stuff there. I think one guy had a minion build. Not to get too in the weeds of it, but one guy had a minion
Yeah.
build, and he's in the end game. And I guess they fixed or they changed the enemy design to where they move faster, the enemies,
Yeah.
and hit harder. So he's running into a problem where his minions are not hitting hard enough, and they can't move away fast enough. So they die instantly. And if you have a minion build, then your host really cannot get hit.
Yeah.
So he has to move constantly until his army respawns. And the problem is enemies are moving so fast he can't run away from them. And by the time the people respond, they can't hit hard enough to get the enemies off of him. So maybe that's legit. Like I said, we haven't reached the end game. We don't have minion builds, but maybe that's legit. Maybe that's because he didn't sound angry. He didn't sound pissed. He was just pointing out something that he noticed and he kept running into over and over again. So that stuff, feedback, great. Here's the thing, Kane, that pisses me off. It's early access.
Yeah. This is a big problem with early access. People forget that early access means early access, because like for a while now we've been getting early access games, and they've been either scams or especially the PC. This is way bigger on the PC community, like, which is where Path of Exile started, right? That's where like a vast majority of its player base is.
Still is.
It's early access in my, like, as soon as I even have this problem where if I see a game and it launches early access, I immediately have like a negative association with that game.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like how many games are coming out in early access, but that's just because of all the scams and how many games have come out and just never did what they said they were going to do. And they just stopped working on the game, and it's just forever, early access, like it is what it is. But there is good reasons to do this. Like, look at Baldur's Gate 3 is an amazing example of a game that took advantage of early access. They took a ton of player feedback over the, I don't know, like maybe 3 years that it was in early access. And then they launched with the greatest RPG in fucking history, right? They used it properly. And it seems like Path of Exile 2 is also trying to do this properly.
Yeah.
Right? It's not finished. The game's not done. They're still balancing things. So they're pushing players to limits of the game to test the boundaries. Right? Like, they want to know where the line is. You have to know where the line is in game design to know what not to do. And so right now they've nerfed everything in the game. Right? They're pushing people to find all of the broken builds. They want to know all of that. So what do? They took all of the ones that they knew were broken and were really good, and they nerfed them to shit. And now they want the player base to find other weird builds that they had never thought of, to see if those are cracked and if those need tweaking. Like, this isn't going to be the final state of the game, nowhere near the final state of the game. But they need to balance it. And it's like, you bought an early access game, so you're going to be beta testing, essentially. And that's what people are mad about, that we're essentially being used to beta test. But you bought an early access game. Like, that's what this is.
Yeah.
So I think it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think it's a weird double standard, too, because it's just like, there's so, like you said, there's so many early access games that are just the full game. And they just want to slap it on there, being like, if you don't
so you don't have to get refunds.
Yeah.
That's a big part of it. They don't have to refund you because it's like, it's early access. Like, sorry.
Yeah, if you don't like it, then it's just early access.
Why'd you buy it?
Yeah. It's just early access. It's just a trial, really. But you don't ever see a company put a game early access and then flip the game on its head in early access because that's what you have to do. That's literally what you
Yeah.
have to do. You
Yeah.
have to swing for the fences and see what the fuck sticks and what doesn't stick.
Yeah. They're balancing. They're trying to fucking balance the game.
And plus, if you want to buy a game in early access, master it, and then keep playing the end game over and over again to the launch, and just be that OP over and over again, then dude, play Diablo, bro. Like,
Play Diablo or go back to the first
yeah,
Path of
go
Exile.
back
Like,
Pathfinder 1.
Jesus, dude. Like, yeah, it drives me crazy. Like, do you know how difficult it is to balance these games? A game as complex, like the complexity in PoE is like up there with like games like Dwarf Fortress, which is like another like legendary PC game with like insane interactions. But like ARPGs are notoriously insanely complicated to balance. Even games, even lesser complicated ones like the past couple of Diablos. This is the most complicated ARPG that's ever been released, like by miles. Like the only thing close to it is the first Path of Exile. And that was, I mean, that took 12 years to like get it to where it is right now. Like it's insane. Like these games are notoriously difficult to balance because there's so many things going on. Like they need a large player base to test these things.
Yeah, I think
That's why it's early access.
I think for some reason, I don't. Well, like you said, negativity sells, but for
Yeah.
some reason, we have lost the plot in the game media world. Like we just
Yep.
lost it. I don't know if it was COVID. Like I said, if you saw it during COVID when nobody had anything to do, then okay, then yeah, you make a bad video, you post it, and you see what happens. Shit, who the fuck cares? But
Yeah.
you know, now COVID's not a thing. Like, brother, if you don't like the game, get a fucking job, nigga. What you talking about? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
But the thing is,
Do something else. Touch grass. Like, yeah.
as we know, games are a business now. After COVID,
Yeah.
a lot of people were like, yo, there's money to be made here. If the world ever collapses again, games are here to stay, and we can profit off of this. Knowing
Yeah,
that,
100%.
but there's going to be a lot of games that might be shite, that cost a lot. There might be early access games that are really not early access games that they're going to have you pay $60 for to get into early access. It's just a lot of tumble in the weeds. And I understand people are going to be frustrated at times. They play their favorite game when they get home from work. You know, they got a broken build in Path of Exile 2 and the update happened and now they got to figure it all out again, even though that's the main core of Path of Exile. So whatever. But anyways, I understand this frustration. You know, you have a game like Dragon Age where it had a theme. It had a theme. It had a storyline. It had aggressiveness. It had the dark themes. You know, and then you come out with a game that does get slapped with the woke label. That does have woke elements, I guess. And then it's a shite game. But that's more of the business model. That they made a business decision and it didn't work. And the thing is, you saw that in the trailer.
Yep.
You saw that, man, maybe this isn't the same Dragon Age as before. The graphics, the saturation, the color palette, it's all different. The tone of it, you can see it. It's different. And at the end of the day, you still paid it for $70 and said, wow, this game is different.
How could they have done this to me?
What's going on here? And I think, like I said, that the media that surrounds games right now is kind of like, it's kind of like a general manager or a owner for a sports team who just doesn't know what the fuck's going on. It's just like, all right, we won 12 games. We made the playoffs. We got to the second round of the playoffs. But we didn't win a championship. Destroy it all. We're selling the team.
Sell everything.
We're moving to another city. Fuck these guys. And it feels like that. Like
Yeah.
they, I hope Ubisoft realizes, damn, this is a successful ass game. Let's not fucking blow it up. Just because
Yeah.
the little people on YouTube that have loud voices
Yeah.
have painted a picture on the thing. Like the fact, like I said, Gaming Ranks really shocked me. It really shocked me of what they said, and I was just like,
Yeah.
brother, like I watched some of these before he buys, and it just doesn't line up. It's the consistency, right? Same thing for IGN. You know they're bot,
Yeah.
but at
No,
the same time,
100%.
it's just the consistency, right? The whole lead up to Gotham Knights, right, where you play as the Bat Family. They
Yep.
had exclusive interviews, exclusive gameplays with the Gotham Knights team. They were like the core information hub for Gotham Knights.
Yep.
Game launches, they get to the game, bro. This ain't the Batman trilogy.
This is an Arkham
This is
Knights.
Arkham Knights, brother. You would know before anybody. you would know it's not the Batman games anymore. That's what I'm confused about, man. I'm confused about the consistency of information. And it's the same thing as you turn on the news and whatever's hot, they're gonna cover that. And they know
Yeah.
negativity sells. I mean, God, you turn on the news, there's only negativity. There's no one petting a dog no more.
Yeah. Yeah, it's and just to be clear, like I get not like a game coming out and it's like, damn, like I don't like that.
Yeah.
It's like not every game is for you, but I 100% get I want every game to be for me. I
Mhm.
want to enjoy like all the games. I love playing games and I want every game to be amazing, but like not all games are made for you and you just have to accept that. Like just because you don't like a game doesn't mean the game is bad.
Yeah.
It means it's not for you. I mean, it could be. Maybe it is a bad game,
Maybe it's
but
bad.
it doesn't. But it doesn't. That doesn't 100%. Oh, I don't like this. It must be just a shit game. Like
Yeah.
it just might not be for you, and move on. Like it's just that's just how it is.
I mean,
Like I don't get it.
one of the hardest pills to swallow was Call of Duty. You know what I mean?
It's a big one, man.
We've been grown and raised in Call of Duty,
Yeah,
and at a certain point, after the new Modern Warfare, after they remastered to Modern Warfare or remade Modern Warfare, whatever the fuck it was,
yeah.
uh, kind of realized, man,
This ain't for me anymore.
this game just ain't for my demographic no more.
Yep. And it sucks, but it is it is what it is.
It is what it is. Like I said, I used to play, not used to, I played a little bit of Fortnite. And
Yeah.
at a certain point, I'm just like, bro, this game just ain't for me, man. But I'm not going to go on YouTube and post 1,000
And start
videos.
blasting Fortnite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And start blasting Fortnite. And that's another thing that confuses me is like I said, negativity sells. Do your thing. If it pays the bills, it pays the bills. But you made one hate video.
Yeah.
Why is there 7 more?
Yeah, it's just it's like would it be cool if Assassin's Creed came out and it was like a totally different game like as in like they reworked the formula.
Yeah.
Like they tried something totally new. It's completely different than all the. Yeah, that would be so awesome. That'd be cool. I would have bought it then, but that's because I was sick of the formula. That doesn't mean it would have been a good game. They could have completely strayed away from it.
Yeah.
It could have been garbage, and then I would have bought it and I wouldn't have liked it. But it's like that's not what happened. So stop crying about it. Like
Especially-
it's Assassin's Creed. It's fucking Assassin's Creed. Would it be cool if they tried something different? Yeah, but they're not going to. At least not anytime soon. So stop wanting them to do that. I guess.
Especially
I don't know.
when you're not talking to the same people. Like I said,
Yeah.
if you had a problem with Assassin's Creed Shadows or Assassin's Creed Odyssey, right? That's not the team that made Shadows.
Yeah, they have. I want to say they have two dedicated
Yeah.
teams to the Assassin's Creed franchise, and of course they have other teams that like work on small bits of each one. But I want to say they have two core teams that work on. They alternate on the
Yeah.
different Assassin's Creeds.
So it's just like,
Yeah.
man, I understand take feedback, but your feedback maybe the Portuguese team, and you got a
Yeah.
message to Japanese team, and they don't understand American. So, bro, what are you talking about? That's the
Yeah.
and it's just it's. I mean, movies too. I mean, you go to a movie and it's just to be fair, movies
Everything
are shite.
sucks.
Movies are shite. They're bad. They're not good.
Yeah.
And like Snow White, that had a woke message, and
Yep.
at the end of the day, it just wasn't good.
Yeah. I mean, they got rid of the dwarves.
Yeah, they get
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like that's more racist. Like, or not racist, but like whatever.
Yeah, I feel like I want to see a midget.
Yeah, yeah. Like, why not hire a bunch of like actual dwarf actors to play the roles of the dwarfs?
Yeah.
Like, isn't it more fucked up to just completely remove them from the entire movie? Like, I don't know. Like, that's not empowering dwarves, is it? I don't know. I don't know.
But I'm not a dwarf, so
Yeah, so I wouldn't know. I don't know. If
wouldn't
you're a dwarf, leave a comment down below.
like and subscribe.
Let us know what you think of Snow White.
Yeah, watch the last video. But it's just insane media, and at the end of the day, it's in sports, it's in real life news, it's in music, it's in games. At the end of the day, just stay off of social media at this point.
That's what I do.
That's pretty much the best option. That's the best option, is to stay off of social media.
Yeah.
Because every time you're like, Steph Curry drops 59 points like 2 nights ago. And it's like, yeah, okay, I just watched something sensational. And like the top comment would be like, Michael Jordan did that 7 times. And it's just like, bro, what are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Bro, shut up. Yeah. Bro, there's always haters, man. There's always gonna be haters. Dude, the Minecraft movie. How much negativity is that getting right now? Dude, a movie that I thought was blatantly, obviously a joke, a comedy, like meant to be just stupid. It is getting torn to pieces. I don't get it. I'll have a review for the movie next pod. I'm gonna go see it, and I think I'm gonna love it. But it makes no sense. Nothing makes sense. People just hate shit for the sake of hating shit.
Like I said, at the end of the day, just stay off of social media.
Yeah.
If you're one of those people that are negative, all right, good on you.
Yeah.
They said, main topic, if you watch a game, right, the ending message. If you watch a game, you see the reveal, you see the gameplay, you see the trailer, you see the deep dive. If you're that in tune with the game, right? Some people just see the trailer and go off of the reception of the media, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of the point of the video, the pod, and just the overall message is that some people go to work every day, they see the trailer, they get excited for it, but they don't have the money, and then they watch a Game of Ranks or they watch a YouTube follower they have or a star they have, and they diabolically shit on the game, then your perception is the game is shit. When the game is 4 out of 5 stars and 9 out of 10 ratings. And like I said, if you're watching those YouTube people, right, then you're probably in their demographic. So if you're watching somebody who constantly hates on Assassin's Creed, you're probably in a demographic where you're tired and you also hate Assassin's Creed, because that's just the content you would absorb. You wouldn't unwillingly watch that content all the time.
Yeah.
So maybe, just maybe, the game,
Maybe.
the game ain't for you.
Yep.
At the end of the day, the game ain't for you. And like I said, constructive criticism is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Hate though, wild, absolutely
Yeah.
wild. And like I said,
Makes
a
no sense.
game for everyone is a game for no one, essentially.
Yeah.
If you find too many flaws in it, or you try to compensate for everyone, it's just not going to work out in the end. And
Yeah.
at this point, Ubisoft understands that. They understand we're not,
Their demographic.
as
Yeah.
much as we want people to play our game. They and look, they've done things to help a lot of people. If you play Shadows, right? They have a unguided mode and a guided mode. Unguided, that game is brutal. I'm talking about brutal. Because you have to pay attention to dialogue. You have to pay attention to clues. It's like some LA Noir type shit. You gotta pay attention to where the trees are
Ooh.
and where the bushes are. And it's just like, all right, bro, this is too much. I had to turn on the guide. I was like, bro, hell no. But if that ain't for
Yeah.
you, don't turn on that mode. You know what I mean? If you don't want the
Yeah.
English voice actors, turn to Japanese voice actors. If you don't like the Assassin's Creed formula, don't buy Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
And if you buy a game, right, you're excited for, and maybe you are upset. Maybe it wasn't the game you expected and you did waste your money. Well, don't compare it to a game that never tried to be.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's
And
kind of
also, it takes less than 2 hours, I feel like, to know if you like a game or not.
yeah.
You can, most places let you refund a digital game if
Yeah.
you have less than 2 hours in it. So just fucking refund
Just
it.
refund the
Just
game.
get your money back and move on. Like,
Just move on, man. Just move on. It's all right. So like I said,
especially the hate for Assassin's Creed is what one of the things that blows my mind about it is, like, let's say you liked Origins. You played it. Maybe you played Odyssey, but, like, for instance, like for me, like that was the last one you played because you got tired of it.
Mhm.
Why are you shitting on Shadows? Like, you liked what this if this game had came out 10 years ago, you would
Yeah.
have liked it. But it came out now and you're just tired of the formula. That's understandable. But why are you hate it? Like,
Yeah.
you shouldn't hate it. You literally liked this game. You used to like these games. Like, why are you hating on it now? Like, that's another thing that's just like it just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense.
So at the end of the day got to end. And
Yep.
if you don't like the game, just get a refund.
Yep.
And if you
Yep.
are unsure about a game, right? I am notorious for looking at a game, being like, I want to play that game, and I play that game. I played Suicide Squad for a long time. I played Marvel Avengers for an ungodly amount of hours.
Yeah, he did.
Top 4 in the country, in the world, by the way.
Ropes me into playing it.
Exactly. Sensation.
But it was fun.
It was fun. It was fun.
Yeah.
It's a junk. Anyways,
Yeah.
if you want to play a game, don't be lazy. Do the research on the game. Simple as that. There's enough marketing material for games now where they have the same formula, right? Reveal trailer, gameplay trailer, announcement trailer, deep dive, developer insight, gameplay trailer. There you go.
Yeah.
Right. The only thing that's not doing it right now is GTA 6. Right. They have absolutely nothing, and
But they don't have to.
They don't have to.
GTA 6.
it also kind of scares me.
Bro, we could have a whole video on GTA 6, a whole podcast. That is,
And we might,
I don't know what to think. I don't know what to think of GTA 6.
but that is the end of this pod. If you guys have any comments, Leave it in the comments if you guys liked it. Like it. Like I said, I'm D. That's Kane. We all have our little handles down at the bottom. That shows our thing. My channel is already here, so and then his channel is there. And like I said, if you enjoyed it, leave a comment, leave a like, and we muchly appreciate the love on the last video.
Subscribe.
Oh yeah, subscribe. Probably do
Subscribe.
that. It's probably the YouTube formula.